Hello, Infinite Energy. I am on a video roll. This is my last one of the night, I promise. And I wanted to do 10 things to stop doing if you're pagan. While my husband scratching and shit.
Just scratching my shit.
Okay, most people that are pagan, they don't kind of start off that way. They are Christians or some form of Christianity. Unless you are, but most people don't. Most people don't fit in anywhere in their whole life, and they always searching for something. And it's easy to fall into like negative traps. People didn't try to commit suicide. People have done dangerous things to themselves, trying to fit into this mold that's not meant for them to fit into. So I wanted to do a video on like 10 things like to stop doing, or to stop doing if you're pagan. Not necessarily a Wiccan, not necessarily a witch, but just a pagan person, period. And we all know there's hundreds of different pagan and different types of religion. So the first thing to stop doing is stop trying to fit your new religion into your old one. Because you were probably raised that way, you follow the 10 commandments, thou shalt not steal, kill, da 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 da. So you fall into that. And what that does is it limits you, which that's what Christianity is designed to do. It's designed to limit you so that you don't want to seek anything else. You don't. And so if you do, then you're automatically considered wrong, and that's not right either. So for me, the best thing to do is to learn like the Wiccan creed and, do no harm, and learn those things and learn that foundation piece so you're not feeling guilty because you're not praying, meaning like the way that you used to pray when you were going to church. That's like the first thing. Don't put paganism, whatever you choose to do, into like a Christian box, I guess. You'll kind of be happier in the long run if you don't do that. The second thing is you have to kind of like stop assuming that every pagan thing is the same. Like Druids are not like Wiccans. They have different, so they're not the same. It's just like anything else. You could be Hispanic, but a lot of them speak different languages. Mm-hmm. They all don't just speak Spanish. So the same thing goes for paganism. There are a lot of pagan traditions, but they're not all the same. Most of them are like really, really different. But they all come along and they all have significance, but they're different. Most pagan religions, they kind of set their own traditions, their own set of rules, their own guidelines. Like Wiccans have the law of threefold return or the Wiccan Rede, but those are not applied to all groups as like a mandate. The thing about paganism is that you don't have to follow, there's not a certain type of anything. It's kind of like it's not a organized religion. That's a better word, an organized religion. It's not an organized religion. So that's like the second thing. Like, don't think that they all the same, because they not. The third thing is your instincts, that intuitive nature that's inside of you, that quiet, still voice that when you have a question or you ask anything, it answers it for you. And most times we don't listen to it because we've been taught not to trust ourselves. And what we learn is that when you don't trust yourself and you go against what your first mind told you to do, it's always probably messed up. And you like, I should have followed my first mind. So the third thing is follow your instincts. You get a feeling about something that's going on. You can't quite put your finger on it. Believe it or not, that's that intuition, that psychic ability, that whatever. And the great thing about being a pagan, or you don't necessarily have to be a witch, but you can develop those skills and they can really grow. So stop ignoring those messages, because you're really missing out on a very valuable tool and resource, which is yourself. The fourth thing is stop being silent.
That's kind of difficult for a lot of people.
Are you saying it's difficult for me?
It was in the beginning.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, like with anything, you doing something that you going outside of the box, and you taking on something that you know how it is with America. You know how it is with people and humanity. They don't like different.
Right. And a lot of pagan people, they keep silent because they don't want people to judge them. They don't want people to say hurtful things, or they don't want people to, oh, you worship Satan, and then say all this bad stuff. But the fact of the matter is, by you keeping silent, that's just as bad as them talking about you. It's the same. Like, you have to stand up for yourself.
Exactly.
If you're going to be this way and live in this lifestyle, I'm not saying that you got to kick everybody's ass, and I ain't saying you got to kick doors open and stuff like that, but stop being silent. You have a voice too, and you have every right. It's called the First Amendment. So if it applies to one group, it applies to all. So we all can speak our minds and not be silent, and not allow people to treat you unfairly. Because if you don't speak up for yourself, who is? If you don't speak up for the fellow witch or the fellow pagan, who will? This is not Salem. We all have rights. You have no reason to be afraid of anybody. And the fact of the matter is, you're better equipped because you practice magic. The fifth thing is stop accepting mediocrity. Mediocrity. Meaning, stop settling. Again, this goes back to the mentality that you have, that you are less than because you are different. Actually, you're more than because you're different, because you were given something a little bit extra. And there's nothing wrong with having a little bit extra. So stop just accepting things as they come. The thing about it is, you manifest your power. You put your intent. That makes you so magical. It is like utterly ridiculous. The universe loves you. The universe loves to do what you want it to do. Gods, deities, goddesses, saints, they work for you. You have a little bit something extra than everybody else. Use it. Use it. Use it. Stop accepting just anything. The sixth thing is stop neglecting the natural world. Trees, the grass, the water, the wind, when it rains, the thunder, the lightning, creek, a lake. Stop ignoring it. You have to remember that being a pagan, Wiccan, whatever, Druid, whatever, it's someone who follows nature. We are a earth-based religion. It stands to reason that the natural world should be, at least to some degree, sacred. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like worship trees and kiss on trees and eat grass and roll around in dirt. However, if that's how you feel compelled to do, then you can go ahead and do that. But don't ignore nature, because it is a part of what we are. We do not ignore what we are. And we are a part of the natural world. Spiritual creatures, but we still in the natural world. Mm-hmm. The number 7, stop wasting time. I want to be a pagan. I want to study Wicca. I want to be a witch, but I just don't have time to study. Well,
guilty.
Baby, I wasn't trying to call you out.
But it's the truth, though.
I wasn't trying to call you out.
It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? I come home, I go to bed. I could take a few minutes out of my time to study, but I don't.
Well,
and it's not that I don't want to. Like I said, it's just that I'm lazy.
So that goes back to, I want to be a pagan, but I don't have time to study. That's number 7. How many times have you caught yourself saying it? It's easy to fall into the rut of jobs, family lives, falling out of the habit. Making time for your spirituality is extremely important. It's a part of who you are. If you feel like you don't have time, then you might need to rethink that, because it makes no sense to actually claim something and you're not. That's just like witches that say that they're a witch, but you don't even know how to cast a circle, to open up a circle to do a spell. But you say that you're a practicing. Oh, I've been doing it for 5 years. But you don't understand how to dress a candle. Like, what are you doing? Because these are the things that you kind of do. I can ask a simple question such as, why is a white candle so important? Do you know? A white candle is important because it's universal. You can use a white candle for everything. If you don't have a color candle for something else, brown, blue, red, guess what you can use? You can use a white candle. But you can't even answer that. You don't even study it. Okay? Number 8, stop judging. You get really pissed off if somebody say that you worship the devil and you know you don't. But you can't talk about Christians either. You can't. You can't call people heathens. They way too aggressive. You can't. A druid can't talk about a Wiccan. You know, there shouldn't be any opposing covens. And you can't judge somebody because they don't do what you do. That's the same thing as a Christian doing that. So you should not do that. You should not judge people like at all. Like, in order for you to be successful on this path, you got to have clean hands, which means you are going to meet a lot of people who are not like you. You can't have misconceptions and stereotypes. You're going to meet a lot of people that have been through the same exact thing that you have went through. They just look different, but it's the same thing. Stop judging. Damon. No, I was playing. Number 9, stop letting other people think for you. If you are coming from Christianity, you are used to all of these rules set out for you. You really don't question anything. You just do as you have always been taught to do. Being a pagan is not like that. You need to research. You need to ask questions. You need to take the time to study. These things are important. Don't let people think for you. Think for yourself. You are your greatest tool. You are your greatest energy. You are the foundation piece to everything that is successful in your life. You are. Don't let people devalue you. Don't let people drain you of your energy. Don't let people be a vampire in your life. Question. Learn so that you're able to know the difference between good and bad. You're able to know the difference between, are they teaching me something good or they don't know what they're talking about. You're going to know the difference between a real witch or a fake witch. That's like really, really important. You need to take the time to find a person that's not going to do you bad. That's not going to do you harm. You didn't become a pagan just to have everybody else to make decisions for you. You became a pagan because you wanted to think for yourself and be different. So that's really important. The last thing, and one of the most important things, is stop making excuses. One thing I always talk about is being accountable for everything. And I mean being accountable and taking responsibility for the things in your life. Such as, I don't have time to study. Make time. You on Facebook?
Well, I don't be on Facebook.
Okay, first of all, I wasn't talking about you. Look at guilty. I was not even talking about him. I don't have the money to buy the supplies. Set it aside. Put you $2 or $3. Candles are $2. I live in a town that's really religious. Okay, there are people who are like you in your town. I'm so for sure. Huh?
I said, believe that.
Yeah, are you making excuses?
You be amazed.
You can't practice your pagan faith? Please don't do that. Please. Like, set yourself some goals. Find a way to compromise. Just don't make excuses for can't. Start making changes that you can. Think positive. Speak positive. Speak over your life. Set those manifestations into play. Write it down. You'll be surprised what happens when you write stuff down. You will act upon it. These 10 things I want you to do now. Don't wait now. Nothing like the present to get started. You got to believe in yourself. If this is something that you want to do, you have to put all into it. It's called the craft and the path for a reason. You would do it for your whole entire life. However, what you put into it is what you would get out of it. Point blank, period. Those are my 10 things. I love you, infinite energy. Say bye, Damon. Bye. And I'll talk to you later.